Good evening, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good night, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news. And it looks like these mentally ill individuals, who continue to be promoted within the Biden regime, continue to find themselves in trouble. They're mentally ill for a reason, right? We've seen what they can do. We seen the shooting that took place in Colorado, and the shooter was them. And now, we see the nuclear wastehead of the Biden regime, also a them dog pretender. Whatever it is, gay. I don't know. It's absolutely disgusting. But yeah, apparently, he was arrested for stealing a woman's luggage, and I'm sure wearing her clothes too. Oh, the penny rate, because this dude, it's absolutely insane. So let's kind of dive into what we have here. Coming to us from Wayne Dupree. It says Biden's non-binary drag queen U.S. Department of Energy official was just arrested on a felony charge. Yeah. Who would have ever thunk that this individual here was mentally unstable? Just like Richard Levine, the health secretary, right? So Western Journal reporting that Sam Britton, who originally made headlines for being gender fluid and receiving a position in the Biden regime, as the U.S. Department of Energy, made the news again for being charged with a felony after allegedly stealing luggage from a Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Earlier in the year, Brinton became the Deputy Assistant Secretary, the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste, this desk position at the Energy Department. As he announced on Twitter in June, it's official as of June 19. I will serve my nation as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel, whatever, as one of not the very first openly gender-fluid individuals in the federal government leadership. I was welcomed with open arms and the department forense all the way up to the secretary, whom I shared the stage with a Pride Month celebration panel just today, Britton added on a Twitter thread. Yeah, Britton has also a background non-binary drag queen as a transgender activist, notably associated with the Order of Perpetual and Indulgence, a nonprofit group, who dresses up as nuns to raise awareness of sexual intolerance and transphobia. The Daily Mail reported, but on September 16, there was a plane at the MSP airport from a female that had her bag was missing and she went to pick up the baggage claim, Alpha News reported. Law enforcement checked surveillance video, which reportedly showed Britton taking the bag, removing the luggage tag, and then returning to the airport 2 days later with the same bag. Later surveillance video also reportedly still Britton with that bag yet again October 9 at Dulles International Airport in Virginia. The woman to whom the bag originally belonged to claimed that the bag and her belongings in it were worth over $2,000 according to Alpha News reporting. The police asked Britton about the bag and he admitted that he had taken it, but that his clothes were in it. If I had taken the wrong bag, I am happy to return, but I don't have any clothes for another individual. That was my clothes. When I opened the bag, Britton reportedly told the police, why did he remove the tag then? And we're supposed to believe that this woman purchased the same exact clothes as this guy. I mean, come on. It sounds like to me Sam is a kleptomaniac. That sounds like to me that he is absolutely mentally insane. Who dresses in women's clothing? And I'm sure he probably wanted to dress in women's clothing. I'm sure as we continue to look at the story, that he probably stalked this individual to find out what she was wearing, what her suitcase was, and probably like the outfit she was wearing said, I'm gonna go ahead and steal her suitcase, because I'm sure she had some very nice panties that I could wear in there along with other outfits. That is the disgusting level of this regime right now, that is led by the disgusting pedo Biden. That is who this individual is. This is who we worked for. And this is all one big reign of all of them. Absolutely disgusting. I'm glad that he should not be anywhere near government at work right now. He should be probably in prison, to be honest with you. So we'll see where this goes. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. And this is some big news, it looks like it's happening. We're about to find out everything involved in Twitter's interference with the 2020 presidential election. A fella by the name of Alex tweeted out a few days back, quote, "Raise your hand if you think Elon Musk should make public all internal discussions about the decision to censor the New York Post story on Hunter Biden's laptop before the 2020 election in the interest of transparency," and Musk responded to the tweet with this: "This is necessary to restore public trust." Now that's a theme that keeps coming back with Elon Musk. We reported last week on him uncovering some rather dark secrets inside Twitter. And he was ready to tell all, quote, "The more I learn, the worse it gets. The world should know the truth of what has been happening at Twitter. Transparency will earn the trust of the people. You're seeing the same theme there. And again, it's very interesting because trust is precisely what has eroded among the vast majority of the population when it comes to the legacy media as reliable media. Virtually every major survey demonstrates that trust has consistently eroded over the last 20 years for particularly the US news media, and the same erosion of trust is happening with big tech as well, and for good reason. As we all know, the New York Post published a bombshell report just weeks before the 2020 presidential election, exposing the existence of thousands of emails that detailed how bumbling Biden's son Hunter leveraged his political access in his series of illicit overseas business deals. After the Post got a copy of the hard drive from the laptop, a laptop interestingly enough that was dropped off at a computer repair shop in Wilmington, Delaware, literally just 20 minutes away from where I am right now. Well, it was because of leftist threats. The owner had to close the shop. Woke Democrats were far more interested in silencing the truth and achieving political power than they were in anything else. Regardless, Twitter and Facebook both blocked the story, censoring, as elect section censoring it is election disinformation. And even to the point where the New York Post was locked out of their Twitter account. While the big tech oligarchs were doing their part, the legacy media in turn did everything they possibly could to denigrate the Post bombshell report as nothing more than Russian disinformation. You, of course, remember that shameful moment in our nation's history when a bunch of so-called intelligence experts all rallied around Sleepy Joe dismissing the laptop story is nothing more than Russian disinformation. So what we've been seeing here is an unprecedented assault by the mainstream media and big tech on the electoral integrity of our democracy. They've arrogated to themselves the role of judge and jury in deciding which stories regarding the two presidential candidates were valid. The mainstream media and big tech together declared a monopoly over the legitimation of information regarding Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And a clear pattern emerged. From that monopolization, every single story that negatively implicated Biden during the campaign was by definition fraudulent and bogus. While every single story that negatively implicated President Trump, no matter how outrageous or unverified, was automatically authentic and beyond reproach. And for any of us to question the veracity of such reporting, so-called reporting was derogated as an assault on democracy itself, and automatically disqualified us in our opinions for many serious consideration. Now, this deliberate and dogmatic attempt to thwart the democratic process by deliberately squelching information on the one hand, and basically fabricating it on the other has rightly been termed a media coup d'état, which actually began back in 2016. Back in October that year during the presidential campaign, the journalist Barry Castleman, who was echoed by Newt Gingrich, made the argument that the mainstream media had so combined their forces against Donald Trump, and in favor of Hillary Clinton, that he believed that we're witnessing nothing less than what he called a media coup d'état that sought to determine the outcome for the next president of the United States before voting had even taken place. He saw, and I think it was quite right here, he saw nothing short of a mob mentality among the newspapers, magazines, network and cable TV, radio networks, and now we're all ganging up against Trump to deliberately influence the outcome of the 2016 election. What made 2020 different was that social media big tech joined in on that coup. So big, medium big tech together aligned to interfere with the democratic process. And that alliance is precisely what Elon Musk is about to expose. Elon Musk is now insisting that a full disclosure on Twitter's decision to censor the New York Post bombshell story on Hunter Biden's now infamous laptop is necessary in order to restore trust and credibility to the big tech platform. Now, prior to his $44 billion takeover, Musk had already weighed in on the Twitter censorship decision. Back in April of this year, Musk responded to a Politico story that detailed how a Twitter executive who was in part responsible for banning President Trump, as well as censoring the Biden laptop story, was actually brought to tears at a company meeting when discussing Musk's takeover of the platform. And so in response, Musk tweeted out, quote, "Suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate. And, of course, since then, since taking over's fire, the people responsible for Trump's suspension and the Hunter Biden cover-up. He's restored Trump's account. And now he's getting to the bottom of the Hunter Biden censorship. So this is absolutely amazing stuff. And of course, the question now is the extent to which the deep state was involved in this coup. We had big media and big tech colluding, but to what extent did big government collude as well? We had, of course, The so-called intelligence experts all rallying around Sleepy Joe, dismissing the laptop story is nothing more than Russian disinformation. But we now know that this is precisely the kind of propaganda that an organization called, ironically enough, the Integrity Initiative was set up to do. The Integrity Initiative was an organization of academics, former politicians, pundits, military experts, intelligence experts, and the like, who were tasked with basically smearing conservative and right-wing politicians and activists as propagators of Russian disinformation. This is precisely the kind of apparatus that kicked into gear when the Hunter Biden laptop scandal broke out with those so-called intelligence experts. So once again, we're seeing Musk in exposing Twitter. He's exposing the whole deep state apparatus itself. This is huge news. And it's gonna be very, very exciting to see what's ultimately revealed. Thanks for being here, folks. Big hug. Ciao. Goodbye. God bless.